starts looking down this way.
Thedekis follows you down here. And
Yeah, I'm happy with
looking
you.
into this room, Thedekis tells you that the room beyond contains 2 alcoves. And in the first excursion here, they found suits of plate armor in each of the alcoves that were enchanted to speak. He says one
Right,
told only truth, the other told only lies, and both spoke in riddles. He tells you the lizard folk disassembled the armor in order to repurpose the metal.
Does the
Raazu,
metal only tell lies?
When he had a question?
Raazu nods approvingly at Fedekis.
Yeah, I'm going to make a Mason's Tools check because this looks very suspicious. I'm going to see if we should be expecting some ghouls popping out of it.
I'm gonna move out of the way a little bit.
Is that int Mason's Tools or like Wisdom Mason's Tools? What the heck am I using here?
Yeah, it'll be a knowledge check.
That's 16.
Yeah, you can see clearly where the tiles have come away in several areas, and this would be a prime spot for ghouls to reach out of the wall.
And I'm going to pick up that still burning torch that was on the floor and
Okay.
try tossing it in front of the walls to see if maybe they sense heat.
You're just going to throw it on the floor in front of the wall there?
Yeah.
Okay, the torch clatters to the ground and is now sitting in front of the wall.
I'm going to say to the group, it doesn't seem like they sense heat.
So, Fedekis,
Yes.
does the armor still talk?
No, after they disassembled it, they no longer spoke in riddles.
Raazu takes her halberd, just swings it, takes a good chop at the dirt on either side.
Which side first?
Left side, which would be this side.
Okay, roll initiative.
Oh, okay. That's
Oh, I don't have to move my token. Lovely.
That's convenience.
Man, these things have terrible decks. Okay. Everybody is surprised this first round, except for Raazu, who is
All right.
kicking off the festivities by suddenly slashing through the wall. And you do feel flesh, providing you make your to-hit roll. So go ahead and roll
Sure.
the hit. Roll at disadvantage because you can't see the thing you're attacking.
Okay, that is gonna be that's a 12.
12 will hit.
All right, cool. Take 10 damage, please. Actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna put some stank on that as well.
Put some stank on that. All right.
Yeah.
Here come that paladin stank.
Yeah. Let me see here.
I'm taking all credit for this, by the way, because of that Mason's Tools check. So I appreciate you putting some stank on there.
Let's see here. Divine Smite. Let me just double check real quick. Okay, so I get an extra 2d8 damage on top of that. So let's do that.
What damage type?
Probably radiant.
Yes, radiant.
Nice.
Have an additional 13 damage on top of that, so 23 altogether.
23.
Although that 13 is radiant, and radiant plus Zambo equals question mark.
You feel your halberd bite down into something in the wall, and then you just see the soil blasting forward as the radiance from your smite turns the whole hallway illuminated for a moment. And then, when you pull your halberd back, there is a dead ghoul cleaved in half on the ground.
See, now how do I dock myself a spell here on my spell slots indicator?
At this point, arms break through the south wall as well, as a ghoul starts to move through. Thedekis takes up a defensive position here. That is not how his name is spelled, but it was a good try. Good try. So, Raazu, it's back around to you.
Can someone who's smarter than me figure out how to spell slot while I do this?
I don't have spells on my sheet, so I can't do it.
Again, at disadvantage.
No, you can
If I
see
wanted to
this
take a
one's starting to climb out of the wall, so you can see him clearly.
Oh yeah, so please to enjoy this 20 to hit.
20 will hit.
Yeah. Or 11 damage.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold back on this one.
Wait, Birdie.
Okay, so I'm just going to move here and then take a shot.
Very good.
So, let's see.
Shot Piglet.
It's not D20. All right. So that would be a 17
That hits.
for 11 damage.
You guys are having more trouble with the zombies than you are with the ghouls. My goodness. The ghouls are supposed to be much harder.
Raazu turns to Birdie, claps him on the shoulder. Good work.
Yeah, you just put an arrow in this thing's cerebral cortex. It just hangs loosely and limply from the soil.
I give Raazu a thumbs up.
And once again, Thedekes continues to commend you. He points out that usually when he comes here every couple of seasons with his soldiers, they simply make their way to the altar and say the prayer. But you guys are doing an excellent job at exterminating the dead.
I mean, that's what we were asked to do.
Raazu starts stepping through.
Yep, let's check this room out.
And as described, it's just two empty alcoves. You can see small, tarnished, and heavily rusted metal plate on the floor of each one, where a suit of armor once stood.
It's seeming like we're kind of moving along, and that other hallway, we haven't really explored it. Should we go back there and see what's back there so that we
Are thorough.
so that we're not ambushed?
We're not hit from behind. Agreed.
Okay.
So yeah,
What did the
double
armor
back.
used to say?
Thedekes tells you that they both spoke in riddles. They spoke in such a way that they didn't have mouths or voices. They spoke directly into one's mind.
Red's gonna actually spend a little bit of time doing an investigation check all over this room to see if there's anything the lizard folk missed
Okay.
when they looted the place.
Go ahead and make that check.
He's hoping for a third suit of armor.
That speaks in ambiguity.
A riddle-making gauntlet.
That would be a 17.
17? Yeah, you thoroughly go over the room and just bare stone.
Okay.
No patches of soil in here either.
Just pick clean, huh? All right.
Yeah, they repurposed anything useful there.
All right. Stop here. Let everyone else catch up.
Come down this way.
Are we just changing the guy's name every time someone notices?
Now it's feta cheese. Hey, just looking down the hallway and it opens up into another room beyond.
Going to. Who's got the torch right now? Actually.
I do. I'm coming with you. Don't worry.
Yeah, come up with me. I'm gonna stop here. Give a
And-
good look at the room.
Thedekes explains that you looking in this room, you see 3 large stone coffins in the room. And Thedekes explains that on their first excursion here, the 3 coffins were trapped. The first one, they opened it up and it fired poison darts from the base of it. The second one was filled with some sort of harmful gas. And the third one, he says, is not a coffin at all, but is a monster disguised as one.
Is it odd that the covers are back on?
They replaced the covers after they looked inside.
Okay, so it's not.
Raazu rolls her eyes and says, "Okay, so let's not deal with that then."
I don't know. Monster disguise.
Is it an aggressive monster, the one that's disguised as one?
He said he lost 2 good soldiers to it.
Is it still alive?
The coffin's still standing there, he points out. Raazu, looking down this way, you see where once a hallway continued off in this direction, but it has since
Collapsed.
collapsed. So it's just broken stone and soil. And again, like up in number 2, you see areas of the soil moving unnervingly.
Oh, against the wall.
Inside the soil. Just kind of moving strangely in parts.
Yeah, no. Okay, so if this thing isn't, so if the disguised monster isn't moving, isn't making any kind of aggressive move, I say we just leave well enough alone.
We could pour oil on it and set it on fire.
That sounds like a great idea. I could put fire on an arrow. I could shoot it over there. We all stand over here. We watch it burn. It'll be a great time. Fun for the whole family.
Is that the idea?
Do I have a flask of oil? I could probably just lob it at there, and then you could light it on fire.
I have one because I could lob it and then like run away.
And I'll burn it.
Is that seems like a good idea?
Is it?
Hey, what happened to 110%?
I'm thinking about the burned zombie corpses that made the room fill up with smoke.
Well,
We're
We're
leaving.
fairly close to the exit.
Yeah.
Smoke doesn't have far to go back up out into the sky.
Adrex looks at Thedekes and shrugs. It's cool if we don't do the prayer thing, right?
Thedekes says that is the goal of your mission, but he will not stand in the way of exterminating the evils of this place.
I give Fedekes a high five.
He doesn't understand
Yes.
what you're doing.
Yeah. So
Look around for Adrex. Come on, man.
Adrex will high five, because high fiving is cool.
All right, so that's the plan. Birdie, toss that oil and I'll burn it.
Okay,
But don't
Well-
worry, Brick. I'm absolutely not planning on getting this arrow back.
Birdie, stop there.
well, I was gonna stop here, but
Okay,
yeah.
you can stop there.
We should all move back into the other room
Mm-hmm.
and have ranged weapons ready.
And I'm going to, let's see, I guess just toss oil. I mean, it's what?
Just break it on that third
Yeah,
coffin.
yeah.
Okay. You do so, and it's coated in oil. Now we roll.
And then
initiative.
I'm going to use my,
You will on your turn.
yeah, okay. Mm-mm.
Oh, you know what? I gotta color it before I can. I'll just leave it green. It's fine.
wow. Our duder is green.
Genius.
Okay. Yeah, roll initiative. Place yourself on the bar. So yeah, you smash a flask of oil on this stone coffin, and as soon as you do, the lid of it opens up grotesquely, and it's filled with horrible teeth and begins gnashing at you.
Oh no, it's a mimic.
Also,
Birdie, get out of there.
you absolutely are in the thing's threat range.
Uh-oh.
Fettuccinis. He doesn't have any ranged weapons. He's just got his trident. So he moves right up behind Raazu and takes a defensive position there. You guys get the sense at this point that Thedekes, it seems like he's twigged to the fact that you guys know what you're doing, and he's starting to take your lead a little bit. That brings us to Raazu.
Raazu is going to move over here in front of Birdie and dodge.
Dodge.
Yes.
Okay. And now my monster is going to attack Birdie.
Rude.
This is where you need Sentinel.
Yeah, I know, right?
Birdie, I have a 10 to hit you.
It is not.
Part of the stone of this structure reaches out like a tentacle and tries to lash around you. You just deftly duck underneath it. That'll bring us to Windy.
All right, I'm going to send that flaming arrow right at this boy.
Okay. You're going to have to be at the front of the hallway to do that. You're going to step in front of Thedekes.
That's cool. Fedekes, don't worry. I'll be right back.
Roll to hit.
That's a 23.
That'll do it.
I'll roll the standard damage, and then you can deal with whatever you want to do. Which one is that? That's a d6. That's 8 plus 4 slashing. Oh no! What the hell am I saying? That's I'm
Piercing?
sorry. That's 6 slashing.
6 slashing total.
Yeah, 6 slashing total.
Okay.
Slashing comma fire, I guess. I don't
You
know.
put this fire arrow in this thing, and it penetrates the surface of this box in a way that your arrow shouldn't do to stone, and then the oil covering it ignites. Moving or staying put?
I'm gonna get right back behind Fedekis.
Feeling pretty good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to bring us to Adrex. Adrex, we know what happens if you attack a monster that's on fire.
We sure do. Also,
We also
I
know
can't-
McDohl's,
He has hand axes. They're made of iron. They're not gonna burn.
are they completely made of iron, or is like the handle wood, or
The handle's
That's up
probably
to you.
wooden.
handles probably wood?
I'll put it this way. If it's a solid metal hand axe, it probably doesn't count as a light weapon.
Oh, that's fair. He's got me there, Adrex.
But yeah, can well, let me ask this.
Mhm.
Since I spent all my movement, can I hit it? Is it within line of sight?
Yeah, you got it. You're not
Then
clipping
yeah,
through that
let's-
wall.
Yep. Gonna hurl a hand axe at it.
Someone will get carpenter's tools. They'll make you a nice one of those.
I can fix it with my tinker's tools.
That is a 13.
13 will hit.
Yay!
He seems surprised. We're getting close to the AC, guys.
10 damage.
hey!
How much?
10.
10 damage. And your axe, again, just lodges into this thing in a way that does not look conducive to it being made of stone.
Raazu, can you get that for me?
It's Birdie's turn.
Okay,
Birdie,
I'm,
get clear.
I'm going to I'm gonna walk over here and then shoot it with an arrow.
Are you
You
disengaging?
sure you don't mean cutting action disengage
Oh, yeah.
to go over there?
Cutting
Yeah.
action, disengage to go over there. Yes.
There you go.
We'll give him to experience level 3 before we stop reminding him he can do that.
No, we won't. We'll keep reminding him the whole freaking game. Like you've never met us.
Okay.
Ooh, sexy.
20,
There's that 20.
and that's you just roll double damage on everything, right?
Every dice you roll twice.
And then
Roll
you
the
add
dice.
the bonus once.
Okay, so that would be this. That's 9 plus 4,
Okay.
so
13.
13. That was kind of underwhelming. Yes.
Hey man, it would have been worse if you had just 2 die.
You arrow this thing again, and you can swear that it shrieked in pain. Red, you're up.
Move to there, take a shot.
Okay.
That'll hit an armor class of 7.
No good. Shot goes wide. Clatters on the wall
Cutting
behind.
action, dash back to there.
Okay.
That's the end of Red's turn.
It's going to bring us to Fedekis. Alright, first attack misses. Second attack will hits. For 17 points of damage. As he
Very nice.
runs his trident directly through this thing. And again, you can swear you hear it screech in pain.
Raazu.
Raazu is up.
Raazu knows that if it can reach Birdie from where he was standing, then Raazu can reach it where Birdie was standing as well. So she's gonna take a step back there,
Okay.
and she's gonna stab it.
You don't really stab with it. Halberd is like a chopping motion.
It's true, but I don't think a 7's gonna do.
7 doesn't
Huh.
do it, no.
Maybe you
Yeah.
did try to stab.
No, the halberd is a spear, an axe, and a hook. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but I think in 5e it only counts as a slashing weapon.
Slashing weapon. Yeah.
I would allow you to do piercing damage with it, because this Destil's right. Traditionally, the halberd has the pokey bit on the top.
Yep. Like, you can actually see it on the little thing.
Listen, I usually don't take great pride in being an adversarial DM, but if I kill a player with a mimic in the first dungeon of the game, I will be so happy.
Yeah, but it's not McDohl, so...
I only have a 7 to hit Raazu, though.
Not quite.
As
Gonna
the thing
have to bring A game.
lashes out with its stone tongue once again. God, mimics really need
McDohl's the
multi-attack.
only per.
All right.
Because McDohl's the only person in this party who's been killed by a mimic.
Windy, you're
No,
up.
I thought that was Nodal that got killed by that mimic.
That was the
That
joke.
me. Yeah.
That was a souped up. That was a mind flayer mimic. That had put some stank on it.
Alright, I'm gonna pelt this thing with another arrow.
Do so. Oh, actually, wait. I gotta do fire damage to the mimic.
Okay.
Okay, it's far bloody, but it's not dead, and you see the fire start to wear out as all of the oil is now being consumed, leaving just scorch marks all over this thing.
So it's safe to touch now?
It's safe to attack in melee range, actually.
Well, I'm gonna shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what, 12?
12 will hit. Can you be the guy right here?
I want to be the windy.
That's 9.
9 points. And the thing screeches as suddenly it no longer looks like a large stone box, but kind of just this pile of indeterminate, like, gellular flesh. And it starts to melt away into the floor. And no longer
Gross.
poses a threat.
Raazu lets out a little bit of a breath. Says, "Good work."
That's one
That was
for
my
free
estimate.
for us to the tribe, fetishes.
Adrex scrambles looking for his thrown axe.
And it's there amidst the scorched ruins of the mimic.
So what's left of this thing? What does it look like after it dies?
It just turns into this pile of ectoplasm that melts into the floor in between.
Was it
I've
on
never
top?
seen-
Was it on top of anything?
No, it's just
Or
sitting
just
on the
more
bare
stone?
tile.
Do you want us to pause for a moment while you like make an entirely new map that doesn't have a coffin here?
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a good use of my time. What's next?
Uh-huh.
All right, so good thing is we're not going to have anything coming up behind us, so fabulous.
Well, you got this moving wall over here. And this one here. And these ones here.
Meh. Let's go back over here.
Okay. You come back in the
And
room.
are there any sort of doors here, or sorry, I forgot.
No, these are more broken portcullises.
More removed portcullis. Okay.
All right, so let's actually look through there now.
And looking into the altar room, you see another monster.
Because of course we do.
The room itself is pretty vast, and you can see movement at kind of the edge of your periphery. You see pillars holding up the ceiling of the room. There are collapsed pieces of wall and rubble strewn around. And yeah, something is moving very, very swiftly at you out of the darkness as you start to step into this room. Roll initiative once again.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Hey, that actually landed on my side for once.
Slowly going down this bar.
You start off strong, man.
Really did. Pair of 20s.
We
No.
swapped. Really, is what happened.
No, you got so high on initiative, you lap back down to the bottom. It was a cyclic, so.
Okay. At this distance, you can't actually see the shape of what's coming at you, but it is fairly fast and fairly large. Looks like it's like a huge trampling horse. Birdie, you can see the shape from where you are, but mostly you just hear the sound of hoofs cracking against the stone tile floor. And you have the first action.
Okay,
Bear
well, I'll
back.
shoot at it then.
Okay.
So 20.
20 will hit.
Or is that a nat 20?
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Oh,
Baller.
crit. Nice.
So 10 damage.
Okay. You fire your arrow, and you don't hear it clatter against stone in the room, but it does not seem to have slowed the advance of this creature.
Okay, well, I'm going to take my cutting action. I'm going to just move here. Or just move over here.
Okay.
Out of the way of the path.
Red, you're up.
Ready in action to shoot the first enemy that's adjacent to Raazu.
Okay. Windy.
And I'm going to move to slightly better. That's the end of my turn.
Okay.
Alright. I'm going to move up so that it's in my torch range.
Okay.
It's in dim light.
And as you do that, you can see a centaur, but a heavily decayed, zombified one, currently
That's
charging at Raazu with extremely hostile intent.
Alright. I'm going to shoot it.
No, you're not.
Nope, I'm not.
No, you're not.
And you do hear your arrow clattering against the far wall.
And then I'm going to take a step back. Get out of its way.
Hey, Raazu, you're up.
I am going to. I see the writing on the wall, kind of. I'm going to take an action to use the last 4 points of my lay on hands field medicine. Give it to myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold my position there.
Thedekes takes up a defensive position right next to you. And it's Adrex.
Right.
I'm standing next to you with the torch if you need to grab it.
I'm gonna hold an action.
Okay.
Soon as this guy is within 20 feet, I'm gonna hurl an axe.
Hurl an axe at it when it's within 20 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to resolve this attack before I trigger any held actions, because this thing was charging at you the whole 6 seconds. Also,
Yep.
I just really want to destroy Raazu.
Of course you do.
Raazu, I've got a 23 to hit you.
It does.
Take 10 points of bludgeoning damage,
Whew, good thing I did that.
and make a strength saving throw.
You're going to want to make this.
Yeah, probably. Let's see, plus 3 to that. Here we go. 20.
20, okay. And the weight of this thing as it crashes into your chest with its 2 front hooves, and you just hold your ground, and you're not knocked prone. That triggers both held actions. Do reds first.
Arrow hits an armor class of 17
That's good.
for 10 damage.
10 damage. And Adrex gets your held action as well.
Oh, it's an armor class of 13.
That hits.
All right. For 10
Hey.
damage.
For 10 more.
Nice.
And now, Centaur gets its second attack against Raazu. Not at advantage, though, because you're not knocked prone. I
Yep,
have an 11 to hit.
that does not do.
And after just the inertia of this charge passes, you realize how clumsy this thing actually is on its hooves. It doesn't have the deftness or the agility you would expect from a centaur. That's going to bring us back to Birdie.
gonna move over here and take a shot at this centaur.
Okay.
Okay, so that'd be it's 19 plus.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
More
20
than
is
enough.
25. Yeah, so all right.
Hey.
10, 11 damage.
11 damage. Then moving or staying put?
Staying put.
Okay, it's going to bring us to red.
I'm going to move to here. I'm going to go ahead and start by stabbing it with my rapier.
Okay.
Oh,
No.
Nope. Then I'm going to pull a dagger off my belt and stab it with that.
Okay.
That'll hit an armor class of 7.
No good.
And then cutting action, disengage.
Disengage and move back.
Yep.
You've got the movement to do all that?
It's, yes, kind of the disengage gives me 30 and my movement is 30.
No,
so.
disengage does not give you any movement. Dash
Oh, it
gives you
doesn't?
movement.
no, it does not.
Okay,
You
sorry,
have to
where
choose
was I?
between disengage or dash.
5, 10,
Yeah.
15, 20. So I have 10 feet of movement left.
So
Sorry.
you can still get out of its reach, though.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you play a barbarian for so long. You don't think of little things like that. It's going to bring us to Windy.
Speaking of not thinking of little things like that, I'm going to go around behind it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do nice short sword. That'll hit 15
That's good.
for 7 slashing.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pull off the nice roundhouse, except now I'm going to use both feet. So that's key point to flurry of blows.
Flurry of blows. Okay.
For that's a 24 and an 11.
24 will hit. The 11 is a whiff.
For an additional 8 slashing damage.
Okay. The thing now is starting to look bloodied as you run it through its haunch and then scratch its cutie mark off with your talons. You're staying put there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's going to bring us to Raazu.
Raazu is also looking bloodied, and she doesn't really have a way to keep. So she's going to disengage, but she's going to step back here.
Okay.
Just there. Because she's pretty heavily wounded.
Fedekes hits with one of his trident stabs.
And the trident snaps.
Deals some severe damage to this thing's torso. And then stands his ground there. It's going to bring us back around to Adrex. How wounded is Adrex looking?
Fairly. He's almost bloodied. He's on the verge of bloodiness. So let's get up on ends.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's good.
stab for a 25.
25 will hit.
That is 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay, and you start
Offhand attack.
tearing holes through this thing.
It's probably got that same zombie trait that you described earlier.
That is a 23
Will hit.
for 8 damage.
Yeah, you used to get up in skirmishing range and start stabbing this thing multiple places. I don't know what you call the part of the centaur that's like below the human torso that's down in like the horse undercarriage. I'm not up on centaur anatomy, but you deal several critical blows there. And this thing just looks madder and madder than ever.
Yeah, all right, action surge. We'll do it again.
Yeah,
Start the ride again. All right.
Yeah. Stab
probably a
him.
good choice.
That is a 21.
21 hits.
For 7 damage.
7 damage. And you sever one of the thing's hands, and it does not stop coming.
All right. Oh, offhand attack.
Okay?
Here we go again.
That is 22.
That'll hit.
For 5 damage.
5 points of damage, and it
Yeah.
finally falls.
Ah.
Your last stab goes right through the thing's neck, and that's enough. Its hooves all go slack, and it drops to the floor. And it takes up most of the space of this entryway into this large temple-looking structure.
Adrex breathes a sigh of relief and also collapses to the floor.
Maybe we should move back to the entrance and rest for a little.
Not a bad idea.
I ask Fedekis whether or not in the previous times when they attacked here, the things just kept coming, or else, like, do you think there's a finite amount of stuff here?
He says that this place is extremely ancient, but most of the dead creatures he sees are creatures of the forest that are killed by the temple's evil. He posits this is why so many of the zombies here are former lizard men, and it's also known that there are centaurs in the area from time to time.
Okay, so chances are that it would have had to kill everything that's here, so yeah, we could probably take a rest.
He would suggest not resting in 4 because there's still a great quantity of smoke.
No, we're gonna move back
I'm
to the
outside.
Go back outside.
Back to the entryway, or up back on the top side. Yeah.
Okay.
Take one of those watchtowers.
Well, the watchtowers aren't actually there anymore. They're mostly crumbled and dilapidated.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
going to offer much. You'll be able to take a short rest, but a long rest probably is not going to happen in this location.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Short rest is good.
You guys climb back out into the cool nighttime air.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take the benefits of the short rest.
Bang, bang.
Spend your hit
Short
dice.
rest.
Get your action surge back.
Yeah, action surge and second wind.
God, fighters are so good.
But we can't spend hit dice on short rest, can we?
You can.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point. I don't know why else you would take it.
Sick! Normally I don't need to do these things, so...
Probably will have to do them a lot in this campaign. They're going to be very relevant.
Oh, that's beautiful. Excellent.
You don't have Super Bard with Aura of Vitality anymore.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Dude, there's something even more messed up out, Brick, and it's like standard. It's a warlock thing.
Yeah, I've read it. It's
It's a spell. They can just put it down, and then you step on the square, and you get healed for a minute. It's
right.
insane.
Where do we track our hit dice?
Well, I mean, you click the short rest button, and then you're supposed to be able to.
You can also just click hit point, hit dice.
Oh, yeah.
Do you care if I have this sheet up to date, except for at times that aren't between sessions, Burke? Like, I'm finding it a lot easier just to track hit dice and hit points on my own notes.
as long as at the end of the session, if I
Yeah, no,
reference
that's
it,
what I'm saying.
yeah, do whatever you need to do.
No, I'll do that. That-
Honestly, if I was on your side of the table, I'd just have a paper sheet in front of me anyway.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I have.
We have this technology for a reason.
The technology is really poorly designed.
I 100% disagree. I find this so much easier than a paper sheet.
And what's next?
Wait, one. I'm still trying to hit dice. Hang on.
Okay. Hit dice is hard, I understand. Yeah, the way it works as written is you can only spend hit dice on a short rest, because a long rest is supposed to always full you back, or completely heal you back to full. Just I don't do that on long rests because it makes everything too easy.
So yeah, I don't get my lay on hands back until a long rest, but I gain 11.
I got that nice flurry of blows back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, key points come back on a short rest. It's really good. Let's see. Short rest. Check that. Puts me up to 16.
Alright,
I'm gonna use the other hit die.
I'm gonna dock myself another torch and bring it back in with us.
Okay.
Not great, but better than nothing.
So yeah, if anyone ever needs to take the torch from me, that's what this little yellow thing is meant to indicate. So you can just grab it and move it onto your character because you're not holding the torch.
Oh.
It's not named though.
Torchy McTorch face. All right, so let's come back down in here and then press on, I guess.
Okay.
Fire burning bright. Okay.
Then stepping into the large temple, Fedekes walks up to what at one point was probably a very ornate-looking altar, but it has now fallen completely to ruin. And he spends a few minutes speaking in Draconic. Nothing particularly sensible. He's just making a pretty long prayer at the altar, speaking the words that Yuan taught him to bring rest to the dead. Meanwhile, Red's looking down this hallway.
I was going to ask, is there an actual door here?
There's not. It's another broken portcullis. Okay. And it is another long hallway leading off to the west.
Okay.
Is anybody else doing anything while Fedekes is saying his prayer?
Nope, I'm just going to take up a position over here.
Okay.
I'm not actually readying an action.
What's Birdie doing over here?
I'm gonna stand here and just watch. I'm watching him do his thing.
And after a few moments, his prayer comes to an end, and he reaches into his pouch, takes out a handful of some kind of dust or sand, and sprinkles it over the altar. And then he beckons Windy over with her torch.
Yep, and I pop right over.
You set the sand alight, and the room becomes filled with a very tangy and acrid odor as this incense begins to burn. And a plume of orangish smoke rises up around the altar.
Adrex, are you doing the pee-pee dance over there?
He's energetic. After the ritual's complete, Fedekes turns towards you and gives thanks for your part in helping to perform the ritual. That he is consistently impressed by your prowess and the way that you absolutely slaughter the undead creatures of this place. Typically, at this point, he would lead the soldiers back out, their job having been done. But he says that he's spent time in the Southlands. He says that he has seen the way that the Southlander knights and barbarians and warriors fight for glory as well as survival. He tells you, and he motions the hallway that Red is checking out, that he and his lizardmen have never been further into the temple than this. But he believes that the root of true corruption lies deeper in the dungeon. And that he thinks that you five are more than up to the task of going in with him and solving this problem once and for all. So they won't have to come back in another season and perform this ritual again.
Raazu nods.
Windy nods. He says that's what he's on this pilgrimage for.
Okay.
She. Birds are tough.
What are birds?
We just don't know.
Just don't know.
Wendy, you want to take up second rank
Yeah, I'll grab it.
for a light source? Yeah.
Mhm. Makes sense to me.
Okay, you're coming down this still excruciatingly long hallway.
Step.
What a thrill.
No, that's for a ladder. This is a hallway. What's the matter with you?
This
And-
is the hallway that never ends. It
There
goes on and
is-
on, my friend.
An intact iron portcullis here. You can see where the room opens up to the left, and you can see a faint silvery illumination off to the left as well. But you can't actually enter the room. This portcullis is in the way.
Wendy's gonna walk up to it. Do you have a riddle or something?
There's no riddle. The portcullis does not speak.
Birdie, maybe there's a mechanism you can trip to lower it, get it out.
Yeah, and
of
I'll
the-
back up to give Birdie some room.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a look at it with my. Well, first let's look at it, and then if we need to, I'm looking for any obvious any mechanisms, obvious or not obvious.
Okay. Make an intelligence investigation check.
Do you think one of us could aid in that?
I'm gonna say no because Birdie is.
Okay.
He's actually got thieves' tools.
I'm proficient in thieves' tools and have a huge bonus to investigate.
I'm still gonna say Birdie's doing this one alone.
Sure. Okay.
Let's see. That'd be a 12.
12?
Yeah.
You don't see an obvious mechanism to the portcullis. You think with a great feat of strength you might be able to pull it up. But you do notice there is a missing wall tile on this wall over here. 4, maybe 5 feet off the ground. But there's not soil behind it. It's difficult to tell what it is because there's really... Well, you've got Wendy's light source at your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see what looks like a lever embedded into the wall, maybe about 6 or 8 inches behind where this wall tile once was.
Okay. Could Birdie conceivably squeeze through the bars of the portcullis? See us.
Not as they are now, but if you were able to bend the bars a little bit, man, this doesn't have a bend bars lift gates roll. What are we gonna do? You would
I
think
don't know.
if you could get one of the bars to bend slightly or loosen one of the bars, you might be able to squeeze through them.
What about at the edge of the wall there? Is the wall kind of crumbling? Can I do a Mason's to see if I could, like, remove a bit of the edge so that he could get through that space?
I'll let you make that check, yeah.
That's a 12.
A 12? It's not crumbling naturally, but you realize the floor that you're standing on, the tiles right here, have considerable damage to them, more than the rest of the floors you've noticed. With a little bit of work, you might be able to remove some bricks from the wall and make a space for them, but it would take some doing. It would not be real easy.
We could bend the bars then. I could probably do it. Raazu cracks her knuckles.
I'll hand Raazu a crowbar. Better to work smart than hard.
So how are you
Fair.
actually attempting this, Raazu?
Well, once Red hands me the crowbar, I'm going to see if I can get some leverage against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, like this part right here, and then pry one of the bars. Pry one of the bars like toward the wall, so it's not.
Okay, make a strength check.
Yeah, you don't need to bend it enough for one of us, just enough for Birdie.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with one of the bars removed, there's probably no way anyone else is fitting through here.
No.
Not quite.
Does crowbar give advantage?
Nope.
Advantage on strength checks. Oh, okay, no.
In some cases it would, but in this case the leverage isn't
Not
gonna
in this
help.
case,
It's
yeah.
mostly just a feat
Yeah.
of straight strength.
Just
Yeah.
a really bad angle. Then I'm going to assume.
Yeah, the portcullis, I mean, you can feel in your hands it's extremely rusty and damp, but it just does not have any give to it.
Hang on 1 second. Or fail an ability check or saving throw. I can put another +5 to that.
Plus 5. This only brings you up to what?
An 8
An 8.
or 9.
Do you get that back daily or short rest?
Short rest.
Nice.
That's a pretty good ability. So yeah,
But
it's
the
just
9 doesn't do.
9 doesn't do it. It's just very
Yeah.
embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
What's next?
Raazu says nothing. Just hands the crowbar back to.
What is the state of the bars? They're rusted, but they're still seemingly solid.
They're rusted and very old, but they're very, very sturdy. It looks like the mechanism is the bars are supposed to retreat down into the floor. So with enough strength, you might be able to force them down, but what Raazu was trying to do is bend one of them to the side enough that Birdie could slip through.
I don't like the idea of that because I got the the sneaking suspicion that there might be a trap involved, based on that gap that's at the far end of the just just a straight shot right down this hallway right there.
Yeah, which way is that lever like tilted?
Right now, it's in an upward position.
I'm gonna try to shoot it and see if I can knock it backwards, and maybe that'll make the gates go down.
Okay. Roll to hit.
That's a 18.
Okay, roll damage.
Or 19. Damage?
Yep.
The lever's a mimic.
10.
10. Wendy steps up, fires an arrow through the bars at the lever, and just like a Zelda puzzle, trips the switch from far away, and with a loud scraping sound, the portcullis slides into the floor.
Neat.
Raazu shrugs.
Wendy, like 10 seconds in a row, keeps triggering her bonus action to make her Cloak of Billowing go out.
Raazu pats Wendy on the shoulder as she walks.
Stop.
As they walk through.
I've stopped.
Okay.
I have stopped.
You see lots of stuff in this room as you guys enter.
I figured we would.
First, on the floor, you see two circles. One here, and then a larger one here. The circles are strange carvings around the circumference of them. They're actually circles. They're not these bizarre egg shapes. They're not weird potato monsters. But it looks like deliberate carving in the floor. And Wendy, you can tell with your masonry experience looking that these carvings are much more modern than the other stonework you've seen. Whereas the other stonework is very ancient, this may be only a matter of decades or so. The northeast corner of the room, right here, is very badly crumbled and damaged. And you see where it gives way to a steep, narrow tunnel leading downward, but it's partially blocked with soil and rocks. There are two boxes along the south wall. These are not large stone coffins like in the previous rooms. These look like trunks, like chests. But they still are made of stone. The east and west walls, so this wall here and this wall here, contain ancient murals, but even with your light, they're too faded to discern. These actually are ancient. At one point, they probably depicted beautiful pictures of whatever forgotten god this temple once worshipped, but now are indecipherable. You also see skeletal remains littering the room.
Come on.
Are they complete skeletons, or are they just bits and bobs?
Just piles of bones from where you're standing. You'd have to actually go up to one and hunker down and make a medicine check to see if you could build a whole body out of them.
Okay.
Make a bludgeon check to see if you could hit a skeleton.
You see torch sconces here, here, and here in between the chests. The one in between the chest actually has a torch in it that is giving off a very dim, like silvery grayish light. It's giving off dim light.
That's got to be something magic.
Okay. Welcome to room 7.
I gotta say, the fact that you said like a Zelda puzzle earlier, and now we come into a room with 2 unlit torches.
So we start clubbing these skeletal piles.
Red is going to stop anyone from moving any further into the room.
Okay.
And he's going to put an arrow in each of these chests after that coffin.
Okay, go ahead and make 2 rolls to hit.
That'd be a crit and a 9.
And you put arrows in each chest. The arrows don't stick. They're made of stone. They clatter off the chest and hit the ground. So
Well, one does. The other one's destroyed.
the other one breaks, yeah. What's next?
Very good, Red.
I say we start punching some skeletons.
Yeah. Use the halberd, start scattering bones.
So you're just sweeping bones around?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of echoey clattering as you just start sweeping through bones. Some of these look very ancient. Some look like they've been laying here forever. Some of them look a little fresher. But there's no zombification here. There's no like overt sense of smell of decay on these. There's no like meat.
I'm going to smell the air with divine sense again.
Okay. It's definitely desecrated ground.
Yeah.
But you don't sense any undead creatures in the room with you.
There's none of those fell creatures here that I can smell.
Does the desecration
Without,
seem to be coming from these circles?
Yeah.
More like the whole
was gonna say
site
with-
is desecrated.
Okay.
Without
enough.
crossing it, Red is going to start investigating the circle in front of him
Okay,
closely.
Make an intelligence arcana check. What's everybody else doing while he's going around the circles checking them out?
I'm gonna
Sweeping
start.
bones.
I'm trying to see if did they sweep all the bones or just the one pile?
Well, Raazu's making her way around the room sweeping bones.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna
this
go
one-
to the pile here and look and see if I can't identify what creatures the bones are from.
Make a medicine check. Wisdom medicine. What's Wendy doing?
So this torch right here, it looks like a normal torch. It's just burning with a weird color.
It doesn't look like a normal torch. It looks more like there's a light bulb in it. Like it's not flickering with a flame. It's just kind of glowing, giving off this very dim ambient gray light.
I gotta say, I am going to attempt to put a torch into this sconce and light it.
Okay, and you do. Put the torch in and light it.
And I'm gonna go do the same over here.
And this one, it's impossible. When you get to this torch here, the sconce is warped and twisted in the wall. Looks like the wall has damage. So if you put a torch in it, it would probably fall out to the floor. What's Adrex doing?
Yeah. This seems particularly dangerous. So let's check it out.
Okay. It looks like there's not supposed to be a passage here, but there's such damage to the wall in this section. With a little bit of work, you could loosen the rocks and move the soil out and then continue further down into the dungeon. Red, how'd you do on that check?
10.
10. It's definitely some kind of mumbo jumbo. Somebody carved this with intent, and the only thing you can tell for certain is it was not part and parcel of the site in its original form. Somebody carved this here, but you have no idea why.
I'm going to, on the end of one of my pieces of rope
Mm-hmm.
that I'm carrying, I'm going to make a knot that would fit along this lever,
Okay.
but I'm not actually going to do anything with it right now.
Okay.
My thinking is if we need to make a fast escape from here, I'm going to loop the rope around that lever and then run out the door, and that'll shut it behind us.
And as you're doing this to your rope, the floor beneath your feet, you all feel it shift slightly. And it begins flaking and turning to ash. And you feel your boots, or in Wendy's case, your talons, sink slightly down into the floor, as though you're standing in quicksand. Let's have a strength saving throw from everybody.
But Brickroot, I don't have saves in all saves yet. Oh wait, I do have strength save. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, monks do get that to start.
Well,
Okay.
I rolled a 1 though.
Did anybody not get a DC 10?
I didn't.
Raazu
I
did.
did. Birdie got a 7.
So Raazu,
Adrex did.
Birdie, and Wendy. Everybody but Raazu?
Raazu saved.
All right. So
Adrex saved.
Fedeki, standing at the entryway to the room here, is reaching around the corner for Adrex, but you two are just too far apart to grab their hands. And you see your three companions disappear beneath the floor
What the fuck?
as the floor just swallows them up. And at this point, the floor has swallowed you guys up to your knees. You're finding it virtually impossible to move. What's next?
Attempt to move back toward the Entra.
Okay, make an athletics check.
I am proficient in those.
Adrex, I will point out the room is now completely pitch black. Oh no, it's not, because there's a torch. Nice.
That's an 18.
An 18?
Yeah.
Okay, and with some incredible movement. I actually studied quicksand and how difficult it is to move in it for this scene. You manage to free one of your legs, but it's incredibly tiring. And you feel the other side, the pressure of it pushing in all the harder. Let's get that strength save again. It's a little harder to make this time.
Mm, 14.
Ooh, nope.
Adrex, just as you're about to grab Fedeke's hands, you sink beneath the floor.
Glad to have you, man.
Raazu, what's good with you?
Keep trying to move back.
Okay, make that athletics check again.
That is a 16.
16. No good. Your left leg will not come undone. Strength save.
18.
18. How long do you want to drag this out for?
He might get out without us. He's planning on abandoning us. I say we let him do it.
All right, keep going. Athletics check.
Nope. Raazu stops.
Raazu stops.
Yeah. No, actually, no. Raazu does not stop. She keeps fighting.
Heck yeah.
She will fight as long as she possibly can.
If you get out of here without us, I will respect you. I want you to know that.
It's a 17 on the athletics.
17.
Mm-hmm.
You manage to begin pulling yourself forward, but you're starting to reach a conundrum, because to trudge forward, you're going to have to use your arms as leverage to pull yourself, but then you risk your arms getting snared as well. But that's fine, because if your arms get snared, all you have to do is duck down with your head and release them with your teeth. So go ahead and strength save.
Wow, someone's been rereading Problem Sleuth. There we go. There it is.
And
That's a
Raazu
7.
disappears beneath the floor. Let's go ahead and take our break. We'll reconvene at 4:30. Give everybody about 15 minutes to go get your snaglins, get a coffee, and whatever. And then we'll roll up new characters.
Yep.